Hi, my name's Andy Ebbs. I'm a solution consultant at OpenText, and I specialize in high availability and migration using Carbonite Migrate and Carbonite Availability, formerly known as DoubleTake. Today, I'm going to show you how to migrate a Windows server from a VMware ESX environment to an Exoscale Cloud environment. I'm going to be using the Windows full server migration workflow, which is one of several workflows included in Carbonite Migrate, to take a copy of a source server, which is currently Windows 19 running on the ESX, to make a clone of it into a target environment, which is going to be this Exoscale Cloud. So I've already provisioned a couple of machines. I've got the source machine, obviously, which is my live server, and I've provisioned a target machine in Exoscale. You can see those machines if I quickly show you the my web browser, which is just here. So this is my ESX environment, and in here I have a Windows machine running at the moment. So this is going to be W19 ESX source. That'll be my Windows 19 source machine. And then I've already provisioned a machine in Exoscale. So this is W19 Exoscale target. So this is basically just a newly provisioned machine. I've installed the Carbonite replication engine on it, and it's got its own IP address and so on. It's currently running in Germany, France, whereas my source machine is running in my home lab behind a BT router with a 10 meg upload speed, so fiber to cabinet. It's not particularly quick, but I'm going to make a copy of this machine from VMware and move it into the cloud. So to do that, I'm going to use Carbonite Migrate. So this is the Carbonite Migrate replication console. So this is basically where we control everything from. It's just a Windows client application that can run anywhere. This time I'm running on my laptop. I've added some servers in that I'm going to be working with today. Some of these I've used for other demos, which we'll see online. But we've got the W19 ESX source, which will be the machine we're going to be migrating today. And then I need a target machine, which is my Exoscale target machine. Now, I see from a previous demo, I've still got a license key on there. I need to just remove that because with a license key on the target machine, it won't actually appear in my console. So let's quickly remove that key. Just take me a second to do so. So I'll remove that now. And click OK. Back to servers. So we've got the Windows ESX source machine, and then we've got the Windows 19 Exoscale target machine that we're going to be replicating to. So I'm going to choose my source, I'm going to choose Migrate. I'm going to choose the workflow I'm going to use today, which is full server migration. I'm going to choose the Exoscale target machine. Okay, now we've got the options. I'm not going to change much in here. I'm basically going to enable the failover the network identity. I'm going to keep the target machine's network settings. If I leave it unticked, we will fail over the IP address, but that would mean I wouldn't be able to talk to the machine using RDP into the cloud. So I'm going to keep the target machine's configuration, the ones that Exoscale already gets set up for this target environment and I know work. If I was using machines which is in the DNS, I could even specify a DNS server and we'd update the records for that so that users get repointed by name. I'm not going to change any of the settings for the network adapters or the mirroring or the network route. I can leave that all as it is, but I am going to turn compression on. So I'm going to set compression on, set it to medium, click next, and that's it. It's going to basically validate to make sure the settings are good. And then when I click finish, it will create the job and start migrating the data across. So you can see here is the new job that's been created. It'll change status a little bit while it just settles in, but it will start synchronizing data. So it knows it needs to mirror. It's now started synchronizing, and it starts sending data already. Now, you'll see that it's still calculating how much data it actually needs to send. I can't remember exactly how big this machine is. It's probably about 20 gig. Might be a bit smaller than that. In fact, I can tell you it's about 16.8 gig. That's going to take it a little while to synchronize data over a wide area network. The link that I have, as I said, is about 10 meg up using Google Speed Test. And I have a table here that I can quickly type in some figures. So if I know it's 16.8 gig of data and a 10 meg link, it will take about 3.73 hours. Now, I'm hoping it'll be a bit quicker because I turn compression in, so compression on, and that will normally halve the amount of data. So maybe it will be 8.5 gig of data, 0.5 gig of data. So half that, so it probably will take about 2 hours. But then you've got the overheads of latency and things like that on the network. So it might take a couple of minutes longer than that, but 2.5 hours, that's how long I'd expect to do. So rather than just sit here talking over a slow percentage bar increasing, I'm just going to pause this and we'll continue. I'll probably just pause it every so often so you can see the percentage increasing. But I'll continue this in a couple of hours' time. Okay, so finally the mirror's finished. It might only seem a few seconds in this video, but it probably took about 3 hours. Obviously, the faster the network, the quicker that's going to be. But the important thing is that the users remain connected while the synchronization is taking place. So the two servers that we've been working with, they're still online, both of them, the source machine and the target. So my source machine with the blue desktop, that's the machine running in ESX. I can create a file on it to see if there's a point in time to show that it's replicating. So I'll just create a quick text file there, and we'll just call it something like demo. Now, that file has been replicated as soon as I've saved that change. But if we look on the target machine, you don't see it on the desktop. Obviously, it's a red desktop because I'm using Exoscale as the target here, but you don't see it there. And the reason is we're not writing the data to the same location. We're going to put it into a temporary area that we call staging. And we can see that staging area if we have a look on the C drive in this folder, staging SSM. And in here, there are different files, including a files directory, and in there is a copy of the files that we've been replicating. So basically, everything from the C drive on ESX source is being replicated into this directory. And that's been happening while the users are online. There's not been any outage to the users. They could be using SQL or SharePoint or Oracle or whatever on that source machine. We'll have been replicating the real-time change to get it in sync. And the mirror gives us a baseline copy of it. The replication gets that data, the deltas, across and keeps it in sync once the mirror has completed. So even though the data's in sync now, we're still capturing all the real-time byte-level changes as they happen. We can actually go into users, we can go to administrator, we can go to desktop, and we can see that file that I created on the source machine. So it's been replicated across already. If I look at the source machine, change the name of that file, and we'll call it Exoscale. By the time I switch back to the target machine, that file will have been modified. You might have just seen it momentarily just update. That's because there will be a slight bit of latency. We're not breaking physics here. The data will get sent across over to the target machine as quickly as bandwidth allows. And obviously that's just a flat file, but the same is true of open database files. Every time a file writes to the database file or log file, we capture that transaction, and that's what we're replicating to the target. Okay, so we're in a position where we can do a failover now. So going back into the Carbonite replication console, what we're going to do is select the job that's been created. You can also see just it did compress the data, almost half there. Well, in fact, I think that's actually almost exactly half, but it was able to skip some data because there was data already similar on the target machine, didn't have to send it. But we're going to say failover. So failover cutover live data, and cutover. Now the first thing we'll see is the source machine will shut down. And I think that's the source machine, it's being shut down by our services. That just means if there's anything in memory, that'll get flushed to disk, and you won't lose anything. So zero data loss when you're doing your migration. So we shut it down in a controlled way, make sure anything in memory gets written to disk and sent over to the target machine before we do the conversion. And the target machine is still online at this point, and it'll be online for the next couple of minutes while the conversion takes place. I just can't really use it for anything because files will be, well, different services are being stopped and files will be locked out and things like that. It will cause problems. So we're just going to leave it as it is. We can continue watching in the console. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll just bring this console just into the foreground here. So you can see at the moment it's on about 20% of the failover. It will take likely 10 to 15 minutes. Depends on the size of the server, as in the number of applications rather than the amount of data. how many registry entries we have to process, because we're going to be converting a machine from a VMware virtual machine to a KVM virtual machine, which is what's running in the back end of Exoscale. So we're going to discard all the registry keys that refer to the VMware virtual machine and keep the ones for the KVM virtual machine that was versioned in Exoscale. The main reason why we created it on that target, because we know that all the drivers are there, everything's going to be ready for us to use. Again, it's going to take a few minutes to do this, so what I'm going to do is just pause the video, and I'll unpause once it's back in sync. Okay, so it's at 89%. Any second now, I should start seeing this target machine, the Exoscale target machine, shut down. And it's going to get rebooted. So I just need to give it a few seconds just while that machine reboots, and there's time for the RDP services to start and so on. If we were to look at the source environments, though, while that's just going on, we should see in my VMware environment, obviously, that ESX source machine's offline. It's not powered on anymore. The Exoscale environment, I'll just log back in again. We'll see the server. It will probably say it's still running. So it's still running because we're basically just doing a managed reboot. We just need to give it a few seconds just while it gets back into Windows, but we can try that again now. So let's just try and open my RDP sessions. So we're going to choose that target machine. So I'm still connecting to the IP address that was given for that machine. You can see that's matches here, 89145.16134, which is just here, which is the IP address of that machine. So we'll just try and connect to it. So it's asking for a password. So let's just put that in there. And here we go. And you can see it's got the blue desktop, which was what I had it set up on the VMware environment. If we have a look in the, just maybe try and bring it full screen, I might need to reconnect in here. Just ask for the password again, just so we can see what we're doing. But you can see the desktop's now blue. It's got that Exoscale file that we made a change on the source desktop. That's been replicated across and is now in the right place after failover. But also you'll notice the host name from the source machine has been failed over as well. So it means that it looks like the same server to the network. We'll have done things like the security ID of the machine, the GUID, so that, again, Active Directory will recognize it's the same machine and you won't have to start reconfiguring everything. That's it. So any questions, you can always give me a shout. My email address is aabs@opentext.com. So if you'd like to see anything more specific, got any questions, if you think I should be doing a demo of a particular environment, just let me know. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll call that an end. Thank you.